Hi, everyone. I'm Kristin Tyler. I'm an attorney in Las Vegas, Nevada. I practice in estates and probate, but I'm also one of the co-founders of a company called LAWCLERK. And chances are, if you've attended one of the tech show events the past few years, you may have seen our booth and even talked to our team. And you know that we are big fans of outsourcing. Well, I know that I speak on behalf of the entire LAWCLERK team when I say we all wish we could be there in person with you this year, but we hope you're staying healthy. We hope you're staying productive and that your firm is busy and that you're getting through this really unusual time. So with that being said, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about with this 10-minute tech talk, might not be 10 minutes, but what I wanted to talk about were the benefits of outsourcing with a virtual firm. Now, some of you I know have been a virtual firm for a long time. For others of you, you may have quickly embraced it over the last year. Whether you're a longtime virtual firm attorney or a newbie, hopefully that you are starting to see the benefits of outsourcing. And if not, I want to highlight some of those today. If there's one thing I know for sure, it's that virtual firms have become very mainstream very fast in the last year, and that more and more attorneys are truly embracing the power of outsourcing at record speeds and very creative, unusual ways. And that is so exciting for us to see at LAWCLERK and for me to see as a practicing attorney as well. So let me talk you through a few of the key benefits I see with technology and outsourcing of virtual firms. Away we go. Okay. Benefit number one of outsourcing with a virtual firm is that you can outsource just about anything. Get creative. What are the pain points in your firm? What are the things you don't have time to do or you don't want to do that you don't enjoy any longer? Those are the things you should think about outsourcing. And of course, there's going to be technology options that can help you solve that pain point through outsourcing, but there's also going to be human power options too. And sometimes the two cross over when you can use technology to find a human to help do a job that you need completed. So there's definitely a huge benefit in the fact that you can outsource anything. So think through your whole process. Is it your marketing, your accounting functions? Is it your intake? Receptionist answering the phones, or is it substantive legal work? Are you bogged down with not enough time to complete the research you need to get done, discovery, briefs, contracts, agreements, etc.? The sky is the limit when it comes to outsourcing, and I really want to challenge you to get creative and give it a try. Okay. Benefit number two of outsourcing, especially with a virtual firm, benefit number two is that it's really easy to get started. Okay. Especially if you're a solo or a small firm. One of the best things about a solo or a small firm is that you can try new things, try them out without having to run it up to executive committee or get some big firm approval. You can try it, play with it for a while, see if it works. If it doesn't, you can tweak it, you can pivot it, you can cancel it altogether. You can fail fast, but the beauty is that you can try and you just might find great new solutions that really help you. So, when you think about outsourcing different jobs within a law firm, and you think about the traditional way of hiring of, okay, you have to go through a recruiter or job boards. You have to review dozens and dozens of resumes. You have to do interviews in person. Of course, an interview was always in person. You had to, the person had to get there early and dress up and send the thank you note afterwards, very formal. With outsourcing, a lot of those kind of formal, very time-consuming aspects of the hiring process go away very quickly. It's much more easy for you to access the help you need via an outsourced resource in a few clicks of a mouse, potentially a few minutes or hours on the internet, just because there are so many great resources out there. So when you think about the headache and the time-consuming process of a traditional hire, again, regardless if it's a receptionist or an associate attorney, outsourcing that task is typically much more it's easier. It just doesn't take as much time and you can be off and running in record speed. Okay. Benefit number three when it comes to outsourcing with a virtual firm is that outsourcing gives you extreme flexibility. Okay. Flexibility. You can hire the exact kind of help you need in the exact quantity of time that you need when you need it. It doesn't get better than that when it comes to hiring. Again, compare that to the traditional hiring process where maybe you hire a receptionist to answer the phone and half the day she's, surfing the internet, or you hire an associate attorney who you pay year round, even when you have seasonality in your work. And there's some times where you're just simply not very busy. With outsourcing, you generally always have the flexibility to staff up or down when you need more help, when you need less help. And you can also tap into really specific talent levels of what you need. So let's again think of this in terms of an associate attorney. A lot of law firms put off hiring because they don't want to take on that salary and they don't want to take on the headache of trying to hire someone full time. And so instead, with outsourcing, you could hire a freelance lawyer or multiple freelance lawyers with the exact type of skills you need for different parts of your firm. So maybe part of your firm is bankruptcy, and part of your firm is family law, and part of your firm is criminal law. If you have a couple different practice areas, if you go hire an associate attorney who's pretty new out of law school, chances are they have very little experience, if any, in any of those areas. By contrast, when you hire a virtual freelance lawyer and you outsource to them, you could connect and work with them on a limited basis, either project-based or hourly based. And you could get maybe 20 hours of help every month with family law work. You could get 30 hours a month of help with criminal law work. Maybe you get a little help with the bankruptcy work too, but you could customize and work with different outsourced freelancers based on those practice areas and those needs and the quantity of help you need. And it just does not get better than that. All right, benefit number 4 when it comes to outsourcing and a virtual firm is low overhead. The name of the game and why so many lawyers have chosen a virtual firm for a lot of years is to keep their overhead really low, rock bottom. And definitely that's one of the biggest benefits, because at the end of the day, the lower you can keep your overhead, the more profit you're going to take home. And outsourcing fits beautifully into that business model if that's something you're striving for. When you outsource a task, a role in your firm that might otherwise be a traditional hire, you're going to be saving on not needing office space for them or equipment. You're not going to need their full-time salary. You're not going to need their insurance or benefits, etc. And so outsourcing, again, is a really savvy business move to keep your profitability high and your overhead low. All right. Benefit number 5. Are you ready? This is a good one. Outsourcing can help you make more money. All right. So when you're outsourcing tasks for things like marketing functions or accounting or answering the phones, yes, those are necessary costs of operating any business. Absolutely necessary. Those are costs. It's normal to think of it that way. But I want to challenge you when you're thinking about outsourcing substantive legal work to freelance lawyers, don't view it as a cost, because the ethics rules, opinions, and underlying case law all overwhelmingly say that you can bill the time and the work of a freelance lawyer who you've outsourced to your client at a reasonable market rate. Okay, that's the key there, is reasonable market rate. And that's going to fall under Model Rule 1.5 if you want to go look that up in the model rules or your state's ethics rules. So when you're thinking about hiring and outsourcing work to a freelance lawyer, and say you're going to task them with doing 20 hours of work for you a month. They complete that work, they give you a time log, listing the days they work, the tasks, the quantity of time for each of those tasks. You can take those time logs and bill that time back to your client at a reasonable market rate. So where you might be paying a freelance lawyer, say $100 an hour to do freelance work, it may entirely be permissible for you to bill their time to your client at, say, $250 or $300 an hour, because it's reasonable in your jurisdiction based on your practice area and the level of expertise of the freelancer. So when it comes to outsourcing freelance lawyers, keep in mind it can be a way to drive more revenue into your firm while also getting more work done. Great way to be able to make more money, especially when you're working in that virtual office. All right. And my last benefit, last but certainly not least, benefit number 6 of incorporating outsourcing into your business model is it allows you to leverage some really incredible talent. Each and every day I'm looking at resumes of freelance lawyers. I see the talent level coming through. These are former big law attorneys that are choosing a different lifestyle. These are retired or semi-retired attorneys with decades of experience. These are military spouses that have deep knowledge, but they get moved around a lot with their spouse, and freelancing becomes a much better option for them. These are solos that turn to freelance work when their own firm slows down temporarily. Whatever the reason is, I want to tell you that the most exciting thing to me is the fact that so many lawyers, especially, are choosing to do freelance work and lend their talent and expertise to busy solo attorneys and firms. And if you've ever questioned the quality or the talent level of these freelancers, I want you to know they are rock stars. So we all have the same 24 hours in a day, even if every day lately kind of feels like Groundhog's Day during the pandemic. But I really want to challenge you to make the most of your day and to grow your firm this year and to embrace the power of outsourcing. Thank you. I'm Kristin Tyler.